Hi, in this video we are going to remember how to solve linear simultaneous equations. So basically we'll have two unknowns and two equations, and using these two equations we are going to find out the values of these unknowns. So let's see an example. Right, so in this one we have x and y, and well, these equations need a little bit rearranging. For example, the first one will be 3x minus 2y equals negative 5, right, if I take 5 to the other side. And the second one, well, I have to expand the brackets. Let me do this here. So it's going to be 5x plus 5y equals 6x plus 6. And then I'll take 6x to the other side. It will be easier. So I'm going to have minus 6x here. Right, so 5 minus 6 is minus 1, so it's going to be minus x plus 5y equals 6. Right, now these look like the simultaneous equations that we know, and all I have to do now is to expand this by 3. Right, so I'll have the first equation being the same, right, and the second one minus 3x plus 15y equals 18. Right, and obviously if I add the equations side by side, I'm going to have the x's cancelled out, and I'll also have 13y, 15 minus 2, right, equals 18 minus 5, 13, which is nice because when I simplify, get rid of 13, I'll have y to be 1. Right, so for y equals 1, I think it's best if I use the first equation. 3x minus 2 times 1 instead of y I substituted 1 equals plus 5 equals 0. So that's going to be 3x plus 3 equals 0. So 3x is negative 3, x is negative 1. So I found the values of x and y. Now this was a nice one. You ended up with integers, but keep in mind the x and y values could be fractions. And another thing, I used elimination method here, and you can see in the books that they say if this happens you add the equations side by side, if that happens you subtract the equations side by side. Well, I always prefer to add, so even if the signs would be the same, I would change them. What I'm trying to say is if this would be plus here, I would multiply it by minus 3 to get minus 3x, so that when I add, I simplify them, I cancel them out. But some books suggest that instead of multiplying by minus 3, you keep the 3, and then you take away the equations. Well, to me, it is not simple, it's complicated. I should have only one rule if I can, instead of two rules, right? So bottom line, I always add the simultaneous equations, but it's totally up to you. If you know the rules, you can also use subtraction. That's totally fine. Another example. Now again, this one needs a little bit rearranging. I'll start with the first one. Now that's going to be x minus 2y equals 12 when I multiply both sides by 3. And this looks nice in the sense that I could go like x equals 12 plus 2y. Now this expression here is a nice one. It doesn't involve fractions, so I can, instead of x, substitute this expression into my second equation. So I'm going to use substitution method here, right? So it will go like 2 times 12 plus 2y plus 3y plus 4 equals 0. So basically I'm now solving a linear equation for y. Let me expand the brackets. 24 plus 4y plus 3y plus 4 equals 0. So basically that's going to be 7y plus 28, which is 0. So 7y is negative 28, and from here y is negative 4. right? So for y is negative 4, I can use this expression now. X equals 12 plus 2 times negative 4, which would be 12 minus 8, so x would be 4. So x is 4 minus negative, y is minus negative 4. Now, this is a very common mistake that when we solve an equation, especially in the substitution method, you know, this looks like a linear equation, so we find the value of y and then we stop. We forget to find the value of x and we lose marks. Please make sure that you find both values. Now is your turn. Please solve these equations and submit your answers online. Thanks for watching.